All right, folks. Sheepdog Smokey here. Welcome back to New York is Streaming for the Far Left Deep End. This one I know came out a few days ago. I actually forgot that I had it up, but it shows here. This is coming from Dan Bongino. He is a former Secret Service agent. New York aggressively auditing residents fleeing state, tracking social media, phone records. New York is aggressively auditing its wealthy residents attempting to flee the high-tax state for Florida, going so far as to monitor cell phone records, social media use, and visits to the veterinarian or dentist, according to CNBC. The state is facing a $2.3 billion budget deficit, which Governor Andrew Cuomo blames on the change in federal tax laws, limiting state and local deductions. Tax the rich, tax the rich, tax the rich, said Cuomo last month. We did. Now, God forbid, the rich leave. Accountant Barry Horowitz told CNBC, if you are a high earner in New York and you move to Florida, your chances of a residency audit are 100%. New York has always been aggressive, but it's getting worse. CNBC reports New York conducted about 3,000 non-residency audits a year between 2010 and 2017, collecting around $1 billion, according to Moneo, a company that sells an app for tracking and proving tax residency. Tax attorney Mark Klein told the news outlet that his office is working on about 200 tax residency audits. We're seeing a huge uptick in our practice, said Klein. I'm seeing dozens of extremely high-income individuals actually leaving New York. We twigged this months ago. A lot of people twigged this months ago, that with New York basically saying we're going to tax you more and more and more because the federal government isn't taxing you more and more and more and then giving us that money, we're going to. New York City has a city income tax. Well, now, if you try to leave the state, they're literally going to tax you on your decision to leave. I twigged this over a year ago. When we heard about the tax cut, it is not a scam. It is not a cut for the rich. It is a tax cut. I am definitely not rich. My taxes went down. Yeah, we have idiots saying, well, tax refunds are down. If you pay less and you owe less, your tax refund is similarly going to be less. They're expecting basically to get a refund for no payment. But now New York is saying you're not allowed to take what you earn outside of the state. I'm not going to be surprised if we see arrests, if we see people just destroyed, their entire bank account, savings, all of their assets seized because they tried to leave New York. Cuomo has already signed a bill that will allow you to abort a baby. It's not a fetus, it's not a clump of cells, it's a baby. Very, very late. We have other states saying you can do this up to the point of birth. Yet now we see that these states are hemorrhaging residents. I believe I saw a story but maybe not a year ago that San Francisco had a shortage of U-Haul trucks because of the number of people fleeing for Nevada and further east. How long will it be before Newsom signs a new law or signs a new executive decree stating that you must apply to the state and seek approval, as well as paying an exit tax before you may move out of state? I don't care if you're a military person transferred from California to Georgia. You have to pay me a certain percentage of your assets or you may not leave the state. I don't care if you work for a company that no longer allows remote work. You must pay me to let you leave the state. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. We're walking into the twilight zone and we're gleefully handing our lives to people who care nothing for us. This is just the latest in it. I understand if someone is a resident of New York and voting in New York, but they never live there, enforcing those laws. You don't live here, you can't vote here. But to actually say, you don't live here, but you still have to pay my taxes, is insanity. It is. This is the ultra left saying that now you must pay me or I will arrest you for trying to legally move out of my state. I'm waiting for arrests. I'm waiting for someone to have their entire life stolen away from them. Home, car, business, bank account, savings, everything seized by the state of New York. That person thrown into prison for life for depriving the state of needed income by fleeing the state to avoid taxes. It's not like if you move out of the state, you don't pay taxes for the time you lived there. If someone dodges their taxes, seek the tax for the time they lived there. We know the IRS is good. They took down Capone when no one else could. But now New York is actually saying, I don't care if you leave the state or not, you're still going to pay New York taxes. And one of two things will happen in very short time. Someone will sue the state of New York and bankrupt them for harassment and worse, or someone will go to prison for a long time, and every single thing they own, every dime they have to their name, will be seized. And when they're released, any money they were paid over the time of their incarceration, oh, that goes to New York too. Now you may leave the state, but you have no money to get out of the state. So why don't you just stay here, get another job, and keep paying me? You can't make it up. It has to stop. The insanity has to stop. And it's only going to stop when the people get fed up and vote idiots like Cuomo and idiots like de Blasio and idiots like Cortez out of the offices they hold. Unfortunately, Cuomo and de Blasio have the incumbency and they have money. And they tell these union bigwigs and they tell the corporate bigwigs and everyone else, oh, no, no, no. You can move out of the state anytime you want. We're just targeting the other people. Cortez drives Amazon into another state and then complains about the loss of revenue. Only when people actually adopt the old mantra of politicians should be changed often and regularly, just like diapers, for the same reason. Only when that becomes normal thought will we see any semblance of freedom return to some of these states. Now, there is the saying, don't California my taxes. Unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of people move to Texas from heavily blue states, and they keep voting for Democrats. I've said it in another video. It's going to be the Pikachu meme. Democrat moves to red state, votes for Democrats. Democrats take over, turns to blue state. You get what you vote for in this case. These idiots voted for Cuomo. Now they're mad that he won't let them leave without auditing them. One of them is going to get arrested and their life seized, or one of them is going to have a high power lawyer who's going to utterly destroy the state of New York. And it's a toss up on what's going to happen. But I don't want to talk forever. Don't want to talk your ear off. Definitely leave a comment below. We'll continue the debate. Keep it civil, keep it classy, and we'll go back and forth. Definitely leave a like and subscribe. You can find me here on social media. Twitter. I don't do the others. Definitely we'll talk about it. We have to find some way of moving forward. I know what mine would be, and that would be to kick this idiot as well as de Blasio out of office and never let him set foot in a government building again unless as a private citizen. But that's for New Yorkers to decide.